Hello, welcome to another episode of Barbarians Only. We're going to be doing some Trophy Road this time, taking on the ladder with Barbarians Only. Starting off with a strong emote. This is Balloon. We're in some trouble. Thankfully he either did not have it right now, or he does not have it at all, preferably. I'm just going to kill this firecracker. Yeah, not great. But the hut, with the rage early, this shouldn't hit our tower unless he supports this some other way, because our other princess tower will support. We'll take the death damage, of course, but as long as you don't take a direct hit from the balloon, you are doing pretty fine. Balloon being, of course, an extremely dangerous card against Barbarians. We're going to take some early damage, even though that uses our freeze. Freeze is a great card against Balloon. But what we're going to hope for here is actually taking a bit of a cheeky move on the other side to get some big damage, because actually Barbarians Only versus Balloon is a slightly better position if you are both one tower down. And you see here, actually, we managed to kill both of his. This defensive position, where now you can see we have the Princess Tower and the King Tower. Again, it's just slightly more optimal. Now we'll have a little bit of an easier time defending against the balloon. Possibly our opponent's given up, which is always great to see. If you're playing Barbarians Only, and your opponent has Lumberjack Balloon, and they give up, you give yourself a pat on the back. That's a good game. You're going to give it some cheers. Ooh, get out of here. This is Barbarian's turf. Ready to continue on. One of the most fun parts I find about playing Barbarians Only is just how unique every single matchup is, considering that we only have Barbarians. Okay, great. So see, we managed to actually get a little bit more value by waiting until the last second. Possibly if we had played those Barbarians earlier, he could have put the Hog Rider down on the other lane. Now here we're going to go big or go home. We hold the freeze first in single elixir. This is if he puts down anything significant. Oh! Oh, it's the most painful thing to see. Oh, and he gives us the emote. Oh, our hearts. The Barbarian people are shook. They'll be okay. We can recover from that. Knowing that he has Mega Knight is a victory in itself, if you want to be really optimistic there. I'm going to do a little bit of split lane, mitigate the damage from the jump attack, get a little bonus damage off of the tower. We're of course going to take some damage here. Oh, huge damage actually. And we're going to go down. But all things considered, I would wager our elixir counts at the moment. I'm actually ahead of him. And so basically we paid for our mistake earlier by losing that tower. But knowing that we have a small elixir advantage in this moment, we need to take a tower ideally before, well, obviously, the game ends. I'm just going to let this rock. He's going to hold on to the Mega Knight. Wow, that's just brutal. He's going to hold on to it, so what we need to do is actually a parade push. And we slightly messed that up there. And that's not going to work out. Mistakes were made in this game, but regardless, this would have been a tricky deck to go up against. The Mega Knight, of course, is a very powerful card. I'm going to give him a good game, even though he's pretty evil. Good on Hut, just because it's our house and he needs to respect it. But the Fireball and the Hog Rider, when you go up against decks with that alone is actually quite difficult. The addition of the Mega Knight, and he's just giving one of those. The addition of the Mega Knight and Magic Archer obviously adds a little bit of more complexity to it. And of course we made some bad moves there. So there you can see how underpowered Barbarians can be if you get in a bad situation. So you got to try to always stay one step ahead of your opponent, because when you get behind it can be curtains. Ooh, nice stuff. Getting a bit of extra damage there. Feeding into a Pig Witch is not the worst thing. As you'll see, the pigs won't actually do very much damage. And now here, just because you used the P.E.K.K.A., we're going to use the freeze there early. It's kind of nasty, but we don't mind it. We're going to wait for 1, or 5+1, because then, unfortunately, he didn't have something like Skeleton Army. But if he did, and he reacted to that, he would get enormous damage there, instead only getting significant damage. But we're in a pretty good spot this game. We're taking note that our opponent's King Tower is a level 15. I am not fully leveled since coming back to the game, so that will no doubt increase Barbarian's power. But he's not maxed on everything either. There are a few card interactions where being 1 level lower is quite bad for Barbarians, but actually not too many. Wow, really interesting usage of Mirror. Okay. This can be difficult for us to deal with. You can see we've got some big boys, and they're angry. And they're thinking, kind of messed up that we're turning into pigs, but I guess that's what it's about now. So we've got... Ooh, okay, so one thing that's very important to note about the Electro Giant, he didn't do it very well there, but if he is frozen, his counterattack doesn't actually activate, and that is a critical element to abuse when working with Barbarians only. So here we're going to be super cheeky. We're very late into the game, and we just need to survive. So we baited that mini P.E.K.K.A. backwards, so we don't even have to worry about it. It poses no threat to the end of the game. And then now we can just freeze the bridge. And then we can mirror freeze the bridge. And there's no way for us to beat or to lose. So when you're at an advantage with Barbarians only, and you're approaching the end of the game, I'd be sad about it. I'd be sad about it too. But when you're approaching the end of the game, it's important to take note of how many seconds are left, because ideally, you would be able to do what I did there at the very end with freeze and mirror freeze. I mean, there's other ways to do it, of course, but that is a fairly surefire way to completely shut down your opponent for 10 seconds, which is very powerful. By baiting your enemy's units backwards in those kind of situations, you can, although not actually get any value in killing things, but you completely remove those units from the game because the game's gonna end. And so that's a very powerful strategy with Barbarians only as well. Basically, even when the enemy's attacking you, you just keep on storming behind the enemy lines. And naturally, the chaos of their enemy units chasing that stuff is going to delay their push. Another good way you can do that sometimes is by putting a barbarian hut on their side of the map right in the middle. That will actually drag Hog Rider and other units like that from either side of the map, so it's impossible for them to go directly to your tower, which can be a powerful stall move as well. So I think we're going to end the game there. That was pretty fun. I always enjoy Barbarians only, so I hope you did too. Let me know and try it out for yourself. I'd love to hear about how that goes for you.